So I think this is going to work. We'll see. When you click on the review game link, that is only for if you are learning asynchronously, meaning that you are you weren't able to come to class and play the game with us, and you also weren't in class in person to play the game with us. That's what this video is supposed to help. If you didn't get to do either of those things, there is a link for you to click on and play the games on your own. But if you can't get that to work, or if you just want the review and need the answers, that's what this is for. So the first thing in the folder, as you can see, and pardon me for looking away, but it's on this screen for me instead of this one. Anyway, so you're going to hit play down there and watch this video. It's very interesting. So she's going to do some experiments right there in front of you to show exothermic and endothermic chemical reactions. And she's going to have a temperature probe there to be able to take the temperature and show you in real time what's happening with the temperature of the thing. So I really would like you to watch this. It's only 6 minutes long, but really would appreciate it if y'all would watch that through. Okay. Then the next thing is, well, it's not letting me advance to the next thing. Hang on. Okay, I hope I fixed it. We shall see. So you should see there on your screen the fill in the blanks. You're going to use the word bank down at the bottom to drag up the words that you need. So an endothermic reaction, endo takes heat in. So an endothermic reaction absorbs heat. An exothermic reaction puts heat out, so releases heat. An example of an exothermic reaction is like hot hands, rusting. An example of endothermic reaction is one of those instant cold packs. These are both examples of chemical reactions because we're making a new substance. Because new materials are made. Excuse me. Phase change is physical change. So boiling, freezing, melting, going through the states of matter, that is a phase change and therefore a physical change. All right, the next thing in the review folder is the monster quiz. All right, so for the monster quiz, hopefully you joined us in class. But I've got to get him out of there. Y'all hang on. Well, I have a student that is stuck in the game from last time, and it's not going to let me go to the review screen without him answering the questions, I don't think, but we'll see. All right, so an example of an endothermic reaction takes heat in. It's going to feel cold, instant cold pack. Examples of polar compounds. So things that have a slight charge. They're still molecular, but they have a slight charge because one of the atoms is usually hydrogen. And since hydrogen is so small, it has a pull. So water, ammonia, and hydrogen fluoride are all polar. A polar molecule, a polar molecular compound is one where they are shared unequally. So one is pulling a little harder on the shared electrons than the other one. The type of reaction that releases energy and feels warm, it puts heat out, exit, exothermic. A non-polar molecular compound is one where they are shared equally, where the electrons are evenly pulled between the two, which is evidence that a chemical change has occurred. Bubbles foam up suddenly after mixing chemicals, or slices of carrot are on the table. It's sliced up, it's still a carrot. So bubbles foaming up suddenly after mixing chemicals is going to be a good sign that there's a chemical reaction. Example of an exothermic reaction, one that releases heat, puts heat out, is going to be your hot hands. Examples of non-polar compounds are going to be the things that have two of the same things, like F2. Then CO2 is their carbon and oxygen are almost the same size, so they pull evenly. O2 is the same thing, pulling on both sides. So those are all non-polar, which is evidence that a chemical change has occurred. So flower petals are being blown off by the wind, or smoke is pouring out of the beaker. Right, smoke pouring out of the beaker is a pretty good sign that there's a chemical change. The type of reaction that absorbs energy and feels cold, so it takes heat in, enter, endothermic, which is evidence that a chemical change has occurred. So a precipitate, falls suddenly to the bottom of a glass when two chemicals are mixed. I mix two liquids and I get a solid suddenly forming and falling to the bottom. Or a nuclear reactor turns water into steam. Well, water into steam is a physical change. So the solid forming is our example that a chemical reaction is taking place, which is evidence that a chemical change has occurred. The water in the air froze into snow. The leaves change color in the fall. Leaves changing color, that color change is a sign. All right, so I'm going to end the quiz. And I guess that's it. All right, so have a lovely day, make good decisions, and make sure you play the game on your own if you get a chance. Bye.